Hi everyone, it is me, Miss D, also known as Bianca, and welcome back to a new video. If you are new here to my channel, hello. I am a recent teacher grad and I make a bunch of teaching videos as well as some lifestyle videos and lots of vlogs. So thank you for being here. I am so happy you're here. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. We are so close to 200 subscribers, and if you like this video, don't forget to also give it a thumbs up. As the title says, today we are going to talk about my student teaching experience. So everything that comes from my first year of practicum to my second year of practicum and all the bits and bobs that come in between. If you are a teacher or a teacher to be going into the education program or an education program in the fall semester and kind of are thinking about what kinds of things you do as a student teacher, just stick around and I'll tell you all about it. We are going to be talking about a whole bunch of different topics regarding the practicum. So I'll first talk about my first practicum and then my second practicum, and I'll talk about everything from what kind of school did I go to, what subjects did I teach, what were my first day feelings that I felt, what activities was I involved, what did I do as a student teacher, all that fun stuff. So let's get started by talking about my first year practicum. My first year of practicum was very anxiety ridden because obviously it was my first practicum. I didn't know anything about it. I haven't really been in a classroom before. I've done some volunteer work and stuff like that, but nothing to this level. So I was definitely super nervous. Like, I remember talking to my friends and saying like, I don't know what it's going to be like, what if I'm not a good teacher? So it was definitely anxiety ridden, but it was also a lot of fun. I just wanted to note that everything that I'm saying is not in order at all, so I'm just basically going throughout my first year of my practicum. There's no really timeline, so it's just kind of throwing ideas out there to just put it out there. My first year of practicum was only 2 weeks long because this is when the COVID pandemic actually started, and so I couldn't continue my first year practicum. But I'll talk a little bit about that later on. So the grade that I was in or assigned to was a grade 4 classroom, and I was in a Catholic school. What's really nice is that for my education program, they asked you whether you wanted to be in a Catholic or a public school or wherever district that you wanted to be in. So good preference basically. So my first kind of preference was in a Catholic school, so I was really excited to be able to get that. The kinds of subjects I taught were French. I taught English language arts, specifically the parts of speech. So I taught like onomatopoeia, metaphor, simile, and all of that fun stuff. I also taught and led a lot of art lessons, and my biggest unit that I was supposed to teach before the practicum ended was science. So I was to teach a whole science unit, but I didn't get to, but I still had to write lessons. Now let's talk about kind of like my first day feels and like what I was going through on the first day of my practicum. So first of all, I was already super nervous. Second of all, I was kind of just like worried about how to build relationships with the students and how to get to know them, how to memorize their names, and you know, just how are they going to like me was just always going through my mind. But what was really nice was that my mentor teacher, she already primed and prepped the kids and told them that a new teacher was coming in. So and yeah, she told me that they were really excited, so that helped a lot. I remember the kids started coming in. I just stood at the door, started saying hello, had a really big smile on my face. Even though I was super nervous, I tried not to show it. As the day went on, I started settling in, you know, started getting to know the students, but obviously it was only the first day, so I was still super nervous that they didn't know me and I didn't know them. But I just tried my best to build relationships with them, try different ways to learn their names. So I would make it a challenge. So every time they went out for recess or when they came inside the room, I would, you know, like see if I can memorize their names, and usually they got a chuckle out of that, so that was also pretty fun. So some of the activities I did with the kids during my practicum, well, there was only 2 weeks, so obviously in my first couple of days I just got to know them. I started teaching lessons. I also talked to them a lot during their reading time or when they were doing independent work or they do something called Daily 5. I would walk around, ask them questions, what they're interested in, what they're reading, what their favorite things were. So that's kind of like what I tried to do to build relationships with the kiddos. And then I started jumping right into teaching. So the kinds of activities, I did lots of hands-on activities because I love hands-on activities. We did things like puzzle matching for parts of speech. We did find a partner, lots of things that also got them out of their seat, projects and stuff like that. So just really fun things that I wanted them to, you know, not just sit in their desks all day, but have them get up, talk to new people around the room, and also utilize technology because this school was a very technology based school. So they had things like a green screen. So I tried to incorporate things like that they were used to as well. So the next thing I would like to talk about is my parent-teacher letter. What did it look like? What kinds of things did I add in there? I will insert a picture of my letter somewhere on the screen here. So I just found a template that was for free. Either you can look on Teachers Pay Teachers or just Google Meet the Teacher letters for free. And usually there is a template that you can use, and that's what I did. I tried to make it as me as possible. So like lots of like mint things and just like little accents, but also tried not to overdo it. The kinds of things that I had on my letter was obviously like an introduction. So like, hello, my name is so-and-so. This is who I'm working with, like the mentor teacher, and I'm super excited. I also gave them a little bit of background about me, my degrees, my schooling, all of the other stuff. And then I also included a next bubble that had a few of my favorites, or I called them a few of my favorites. So things like my favorite food, my favorite book, my favorite author, my favorite color, my favorite hobby, favorite subject, things that students can relate to, or maybe, you know, they can just read about and know like, hey, that's cool. Added another bubble where it was like interesting facts about me. So I know I wrote in there that I have double jointed elbows. If you didn't know about that before, that's a fun fact about me. And then I talked about my dog. She was 3 years old. She was 3 years old. Luna was 3 years old in this letter, but now she's 4. I just added a little bit of things that would have students relate to me or that have students talk about. So I know a lot of the time they really loved my dog. So we talked a lot about my dog and, you know, we started building relationships that way. The kinds of things that I participated in during the time I was a student teacher were things like staff meetings, professional development days, also after school events that had to do with more of staff building and team building and getting to know the staff. So things like, I remember I was invited to a Zumba class with the staff, so we got to, you know, work out together, but also get to know each other. So to kind of bring my first year of practicum together, I would say that overall the first week was definitely a learning curve. It was more about finding myself as a professional in the room. I remember thinking that it was really hard for me to navigate myself from a student in the classroom to the actual teacher or teacher in training. I remember it was so hard for me to distinguish myself as a professional just because I've been learning about becoming a teacher all my life throughout university and all of that stuff, that I didn't feel necessarily like a teacher. So I definitely think my first year was a lot of learning, obviously, but just like mentally and emotionally, I was very much on a learning curve, and it just altered my whole universe. But I also loved it because I love teaching, and that's basically who I am. It was just so unfortunate because the second week I came back, or no, I think it was the second week that we were supposed to come back, or into our third week, but I was already getting to know the students, we were already building a relationship, and all of a sudden found out I couldn't go back anymore because of COVID. And it was really sad because I really miss the kids. But basically I just filmed a little video for them to see and let them know that I'm okay, and that I, you know, well, send them well wishes and that I love them all. And it was so nice getting to know them for the short amount of time that we had. But basically that was it for my first year. It was quick, but also lots of learning in that small amount of time, lots of notes, lots of really good conversations with my mentor teacher. But yeah, I would say that your first year is going to definitely be a learning curve unless you're really like, you've been in a classroom before, you know what you're doing. But other than that, you'd still learn a bunch. So yeah, I'm really thankful that I was in the classroom that I was in with the people that I was in. Okay, so let's talk about my second year of practicum, which was so much better, I can already tell you. And the title of this video is going to be like so much growth, because there was so much growth. But I was placed in a kindergarten classroom. So I started from a grade 4 and then went all the way to kindergarten, which I was a little nervous for, but also a little excited about because they're so cute. I was in a public school this time, which was really awesome, and I asked to be in a public school because I wanted to see the difference between both, and there wasn't much of a difference. I loved both schools the same way. That's the part that I didn't know about kindergarten, is that you taught in more themes than actually like, this is math, this is science, this is ELA kind of thing, as you would in upper elementary. So just in terms of the content, it was a lot to get used to, but also it was really fun because I got to come up with so many creative things, and it was just a lot of fun overall. Kinds of things I taught were rhyming, so that kind of fits in ELA, so rhyming words. I also taught physical education, so PE, specifically soccer. I also ran things like calendar every day, and I also taught some activities based off of Black History Month and Chinese New Year, and just lots of cultural things. I really wanted to do that because my mentor teacher gave me the opportunity to, so that was really meaningful for me as a person of color. And I just really wanted, you know, as little as these kids are, you can still always teach them something and they're always still gonna remember it. Okay, so let's talk about the first day feels. Something about the first day felt so much different than my first practicum. I remember feeling so anxious and so nervous, and don't get me wrong, I still was anxious and I still was nervous, but for some reason I just felt so much more excited. And looking back at it now, I am pretty sure I feel more excited because I think I found my niche. I loved grade 4, and the age is so fun and you can just talk to them. But with kindergarten, I just feel like they're just so cute, and I think my personality is more for kindergarten. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like it, and I just feel more connected. First day feels, I was super excited, but I was also super nervous, of course, because there's always something that tells me that they're not gonna like me, but always gotta try and stay positive. So I remember the kids came in, I greeted them, they were super shy, but also some were super excited to see me and just excited that there was someone new in their classroom. So that was really precious and really cute. As we got throughout the day, they started getting more comfortable, they started telling me a lot of things, started drawing me like the cutest pictures in the whole entire world that I still have in my kind of like why I teach binder. First day feels, I would kind of rate it like way more better than my first year, I think. And I think that's the growth coming in. Some examples of activities I did with the students were very similar to the activities I did with grade 4s, obviously at the kindergarten level. But I still loved hands-on stuff, and I really wanted the kids to get out of their chairs because lots of them were antsy and can't sit in one place. And that's also the thing about kindergarten, is you have to get used to their timetable. Kindergartners can't sit for that long. They get super antsy, so your lessons are really short. Like my lessons were pretty much 15 minutes, if so like 20 max, but that's like pushing it. So kinds of activities I did, we did lots of partner stuff, we did lots of group stuff. We also did lots of scavenger hunts, which are my favorites, and they loved scavenger hunts. We also did matching, we also did kind of like find these things. We did so much that it's gonna take me many videotapes to just describe it, but it was just so fun. We did lots of hands-on activities and they loved it. We danced, and we also did like move to the side of, so like hot or cold and stuff like that. So it was super fun. Okay, let's talk about my parent teacher letter, parent letter. So this is another reason why I think that I've had so much growth, is because I've learned a lot of new like technology and just ways to communicate with parents through either professional development days or just like searching on the internet and like finding new things. So I'm just going to insert my parent teacher letter right over here. So first it was meet the student teacher, so I did my little introduction like, hello, this is me, I'm super excited to work with so and so, and I just have so much activities lined up and all of that kind of stuff. And then I actually made a QR code that links to a YouTube video, and don't worry, I blocked it out because you would see it, but I linked a QR code so that the parents or family can scan it and see a video of me before I even started practicum. So it was really, really fun to have them like see my video and just get to know me. And I thought that it was easier because for kindergartners, they can't really read my letter. So if they saw me and they like saw me talk, then they would get to know who I am even more and just build the relationship that way. I also have facts about me, and then I listed a lot of like facts about me, which is similar to the interesting things about me. Also included something called a few of my favorites again, so my favorite color, my favorite place, my favorite book, author, etc. So yeah, and then I also included a picture of Luna, which is super, super cute, and obviously a picture of myself. And I just like this so much better. I think it's more me than the first one was. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the last little bit here of my second practicum, which is like my favorite moments slash the overall thing. So I wrote here that this time around I felt more like a teacher. So my first year I was kind of like struggling with the split between being a student to a teacher. And for some reason I just had so much growth and I just had so much more confidence in myself this time around that I felt myself be a teacher and be a professional. And this one obviously was a longer amount of time because COVID was obviously more planned out this time, so we got to stay in the classrooms for a longer amount of time. But I think I found my niche. I think this is where it is. Kindergarten, or the lower the grades get, I think I found my niche. And that I think it was just like the people and the school that made all the difference as well. My mentor teacher was super encouraging and always cheered me on and always encouraged me to try new things and to make mistakes, which obviously for someone who has anxiety, it's just like made me breathe a lot more and was just like, okay, it's okay if I make a mistake, which obviously I did, and I would get down about it, but that's the whole point of practicum, is that you're there to grow and to learn, and that is indeed what I did. Okay, so to kind of wrap up this video, because it's getting super long, sorry about that, but what did I learn overall in these two practicums? I'm just going to read what I wrote on my computer because I just put it into really good words and then I'm now forgetting what I said. So I said that what I learned is that it's important to be vulnerable, especially in your first year when you are super scared and anxious and you have your walls up and all of that stuff. It's important to be vulnerable, especially with your mentor teacher, because obviously you're still trying to understand who your mentor teacher is and they're trying to understand who you are. I also wrote that sometimes you don't always have to fake it till you make it. And after my first year, I really thought of that, and this whole entire time I started faking it until I couldn't anymore. And then my second year, I started faking like my feelings, as in like my anxiety, like pretending that I wasn't nervous, even though I super was. But I just realized that it's okay to fake it sometimes, but sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you just have to put yourself out there. I also wrote that even though you think growth isn't going to happen, it does. And when you step back and reflect, like how I'm doing now, you learn that you've grown so much, and then you look back at your binders and you're like, wow, I can't believe that was me and that I did that. And in so many ways you've grown. So just even in the letters, in the ways you talk, in your confidence, in the feedback that you get, you grow even though you think you aren't. And lastly, I have some advice for first year teachers or students who are going into the education program or thinking of it, and who are a little bit worried about practicum. here's my advice for you. First one is, it's okay if you feel incompetent, or it's okay if you feel like you are not doing something well. I said that you know a lot more than you think, and you just need to keep telling yourself that. That needs to be your running motto when you wake up in the morning, as you get ready for school. Know that you are trained for this, that you are competent. Be positive, which is something I need to tell myself every day. And to just kick it, you know, take every day as it comes, and you will do fine. Second and last advice for teachers is, you are a teacher, you are a professional, but that doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to make mistakes. And even if you are a first-year teacher and you don't have the student in front of your title, you're still allowed to make mistakes. We all are. We're only human, and we need to remember that, because teaching is a very, very demanding job. Emotionally, mentally, physically, all the leads, it's a lot. So you need to take care of yourself, and you need to realize that you are the professional, you are the smart one, you can do it, and you will make it through. I think that's it for this video. I'm super sorry if this ends up being totally long, but I think it was definitely a topic that was so worth talking about, you know, even though I kind of like bounced all over the place. But I'm hoping you guys got a glimpse of my practicum time and what it was like. If you end up having any questions or things that I haven't addressed regarding student teaching, I am also making another video called a student teaching Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can always write it in the comments down below, and I will be sure to include that in my next video. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys have, got something to eat during that time, because it was quite a long video. I'm just so thankful to be able to do this and to talk. I just felt like when I was talking to good people, and I was just having a conversation. But here I am alone in my room with my camera. That is it for this video. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new to my channel. And I will catch you in the next vlog. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Bye.